You solemnly swear that the testimony you will give the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be done.
Please be seated.
Would you state your name for us, please?
Karen Chandler.
Spell your last name for the record.
Chandler.
And where are you from, Karen?
I'm presently in Atlanta.
Okay. And where did you live back in January of 1978?
In Tallahassee.
Where?
At the Kaimega House.
And do you recall what room you lived in?
Room number 8.
Did you have a roommate?
Yes, I did. Kathy Kleiner.
Okay. What was your major, Karen?
My major was fashion merchandising.
Okay. And what are you doing in Atlanta now?
I work for Riches.
Okay. Do you recall the night of January the 14th of 1978?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What were you doing that night?
That was Friday night.
That was Saturday.
Oh, Saturday night. I had gone over to my parents' house to fix dinner for them, and I had come home kind of early.
Okay. Do your parents live in Tallahassee?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And whenever you say you came home early, where did you come to?
The sorority house.
Okay. How did you gain entry to the sorority house that night?
Through the back door.
Is that the combination lock door?
Right.
Okay. What did you do? What did you do when you came into the door?
I punched in the combination and entered.
Okay. What did you do whenever you came inside?
I walked through the rec room and up the stairs and into my room.
Was your roommate home at that time?
No, she wasn't.
About what time are we talking about now?
Between 10:30 and 11.
Okay. What did you do whenever you got to your room?
I started sewing and I was watching TV.
Okay. Did you go to bed?
I went to bed about 12 o'clock.
Okay. How about your roommate? What time did she come in, do you know?
She came in probably a little after 11:30.
And what did y'all do after she came in?
Well, she went right to bed. And I sat for a little while and then I turned off the TV and went to bed.
Okay. And did you hear any noises or were you aroused during the night?
No, sir.
What is the next thing that you remember?
Being lifted into the ambulance.
You recall that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the next thing that you remember after that?
Getting sick.
Where was that, if you know?
At the hospital.
How long were you at the hospital, Karen?
From that Saturday night until Friday afternoon of the next week.
Okay. Were you injured?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us what your injuries were?
Well, I was hit in the head, and I had cuts on my head. I had a broken jaw. Some of my teeth were knocked out. I had broken facial bones. I had a broken arm and a crushed finger.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear those things.
A crushed finger.
Karen, do you know who did that to you?
No, sir.
Were you awake or asleep at the time that it happened?
I was asleep.
Nothing further.
Mr. Harvey? Will this young lady be excused?
Yes, sir.
I think you're free to go, young lady. Who is your next witness, Mr.
Kathy Kleiner, be Shields.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be done?
Be seated.
Would you state your name for us, please?
Kathy Kleiner de Shields.
And could you give us the area in Florida that you live in at this time?
Boca Raton.
Where were you living back in January of 1978?
At the Chi Omega sorority house,
And in what city is that?
Tallahassee, Florida.
How long did you live at the Chi Omega sorority house?
Since September of '77.
Okay. Did you have a roommate?
Yes, I did. Karen Chandler.
Okay. Were you going to school at that time?
Yes, sir, I was.
And what was your major?
Interior design.
Okay. Are you finished with school now?
No, sir.
You're not? Are you married?
Yes, sir, I am.
When did you get married?
June 79.
Kathy, do you remember the night of January 14th of 1978, Saturday night, or the early morning hours of January the 15th of 1978?
Yes, sir, I do.
What were you doing that Saturday night, if you would tell us?
I had gone to a wedding in the afternoon, and I had gone over to my boyfriend's house with some friends. We had dinner, and then we went over to another couple's house and had just a little get together. And then I went home back to the sorority around 11:15 that night and was in bed by 11:30.
Okay. Was your roommate there at that time?
Yes, sir.
Did both of you go to bed at the same time?
No, sir. She was sewing, and I got ready to go to bed, and she was watching a movie on TV. And she went to bed shortly after.
Did you go to sleep?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear any noises, or were you aroused that night?
I was awoken after I was attacked, and I remember commotion, but I didn't have my glasses on, and I don't remember anything that was going on, just a lot of commotion.
Could you tell us the first thing that you do remember?
Sorority sisters, I believe it was Jackie McGill and Nancy Dowdy, and I was asking for my pastor, Austin, and my boyfriend, David. And I remember paramedics were being there.
Okay. Was this still at the sorority house?
Yes, sir, it was.
What's the next thing that you remember?
Being taken down the stairs on the stretcher and taken out into the ambulance.
Okay. Were you taken to the hospital?
I believe so. I don't remember anything else until I was in the hospital.
How long were you in the hospital?
About a week.
Could you tell us what injuries that you had at that time?
My jaw was broken in 3 places. I had lacerations on my shoulder and like whiplash on my neck.
Any problem with your teeth?
Yes, sir. I had, my teeth are still loose on the bottom. I have a pin in my jaw.
Kathy, do you know who did this to you?
No, sir.
Nothing further.
May this young lady be excused? I think you're free to go, young lady.
Judge, this is a logical breaking point.
Are you going to have some time in the next one?
Well, it's a logical breaking point.
All right.
It depends on the defense, Judge.
I'll employ your logic, Mr. Simpson. I had to kind of laugh. That young lady thought 1 month's marriage was like a year. Is that... Take the jury out, Mr. Butler.